seated. Well, good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Paul Evahv. I'm Evahv, right? And if you don't know me, by the end of the speech, it might surprise you to find out I make my living talking in front of people. Because this one's going to be a little more difficult. But anyway, on behalf of Cheryl and myself, Jenny and Scott, and especially Chris and Zach, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. And I was asked to write a speech, and much to Kristen's horror, I titled the speech, The Talk. So in February 2010, Cheryl and I took a Caribbean cruise, leaving Kristen and Devin in the care of my mother-in-law, Pat. Upon our return, we learned that Kristen had met a guy 2 years her senior, which in my world back then translated into a predator. A predator named Zach Peterson. And I remember looking at my mother-in-law and thinking, you had one job. Well, Cheryl and I decided it was time to have the talk with Kristen, but out of the sake of full disclosure, Cheryl Volin told me I was going to have the talk. Now, two things were clear to me in early 2010 as I contemplated the assignment. First, I had no idea how to have the talk, especially with a daughter. And second, Kristen sure as hell will not be excited about having the talk with me. But after determining the message I wanted to convey and deciding the best delivery method would be to write a letter, so I did. One Saturday evening, I invited her out to dinner at Los Bandidos, a father-daughter date, which wouldn't have caused any alarm because we did that frequently. After arriving, I reached in the back seat and pulled out a gift bag. The look on Kristen's face convinced me she was starting to figure out what was about to happen. And I recall contemplating what I would do if she started running down the Mason Street access road screaming for help. We went inside. It was dark. Thankfully, it was very, very slow. After ordering our meal, I handed Kristen a letter. It was titled, My Wish for You. I told Kristen my only expectation the evening was that she read the letter. And if after reading it she wanted to talk, we could talk. And if after reading it she didn't want to talk, we'd keep a very awkward silence. She read the letter, and to my amazement and horror, we did talk. And after talking, I presented her with a gift. It was a three-studded diamond ring called a past, present, and future ring. I am shaking, really like my wife. Anyway, we talked briefly about the past and the present, but mostly about the future. The future diamond, I said, represented the wish I had for her, the one that the letter addressed. And I asked her from that moment forward to always wear that ring, so that when faced with a difficult decision, it could serve as a reminder of the wish I had for her. It would help guide her toward the choice that best aligned to that wish. And I asked her to never take that ring off until it was replaced by one from a man who would love her as much as I did, would protect her the way I did, and would respect her the way I would demand. I'm proud to say she did wear that ring through her formidable high school and college years. If she only knew how many times I zoomed in on a Facebook picture and said she was wearing it. And I'm telling you, every single time she had that ring on. Later in 2010, Kristen and Zach's relationship became official because now it was posted on their Facebook profiles. It wasn't long after that Zach presented himself at our house for the first time, and I was ready. I'll get to the bottom of this guy. I'll figure out his angle, then I'll destroy him. Or I'll kill him, one of the two. But those of you who know Zach will not be surprised to learn that not long after meeting him, I had this really strange transformation. I like the kid. And I don't just mean I might give him a fighting chance, I really, really liked him. And that admiration grew in the early stages of the relationship. In fact, months into it, I recall someone asking me how I felt about the relationship, and my response was, I just wish this was 5 years from now. Asked what I meant by that. I said, no doubt they're great for each other, but let's face it, Zach's about to leave for college. Kristen has 2 years left in high school. Then they'll both be off at different colleges for 2 years. Then Zach will be back in Green Bay adulting, as they call it, while Kristen finishes her last 2 years of college, and that's a bit much to overcome. Well, it would turn out that the joke was on me. They survived Zach's first 2 years of college. At least I think he went to school those first 2 years, because he seemed to be at our dinner table almost every night. The second phase was made easier when, after a several-minute nationwide search, Kristen decided that UW Oshkosh had the finest accounting and finance program in the entire country, along with a cute outfielder on the baseball team by the name of Zach Peterson. And during the third phase, when Zach was indeed back home working and adulting, they survived by Kristen commuting back and forth to Oshkosh each day from our home. They put on a shit ton of miles for those 6 years, but survived the journey while each having very successful college experiences. Chapter 2. So now fast forward to the summer of 2015. On a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in June, Zach and I decided to put the Jag off. Zach and I decided to put in a quick 9 holes of golf. Play was slow, and as we exited the 8th green, we settled into our cart for a cold beer and a lengthy wait before we tee off on number 9. Moments later, some nervous words started falling out of his mouth, which I roughly translated to mean, hey, I really wasn't planning to do this today, but there's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. After collecting himself, he proceeded to ask me for Kristen's hand in marriage. We talked for several minutes. Afterwards, because I had long planned for this moment, I told Zach that I had one question for him before I answered his question. I asked him the question, he answered it perfectly, and permission was granted. After golf, we met up with Cheryl and Kristen for a bite to eat. I arrived a few minutes ahead of Zach, and immediately, both of them came at me. Kristen said, Zach, Dad asked you to marry me today, didn't he? Cheryl jumped right on it. Tell us the truth, Paul, he asked you, didn't he? Well, I must have done a good job with my denial, because the subject went away pretty quickly, but to this day it has always amazed me to have that intuition. Be careful with this intuition thing, Zach. Another fast forward to December 31st, 2015. Kristen and Zach brought back a Haiti being awful family tradition and booked rooms in this very hotel. We have a lot of history here. So family and friends could bring in the new year. Many gathered not knowing that in 2015 there would be a twist. When Kristen opened the door to their room, on the bed, laid out in rose petals, was the message, will you marry me? She turned around to find Zach on his knee. There was an immediate and emotional yes, and after many years, my ring was replaced with his. I could not have been happier, because for me, my wish for her had come true. That night we were all at the hotel and all the girls were crying. A couple weeks later I started writing deposit checks and I started crying. Seriously though, What Chris and Zach's journey has demonstrated to me is that they're meant to be together if you have true love. Not being together is not an option. It survived several chapters that could have ended the story, but it didn't end because they refused to let their love be denied. And I know the future holds more of this relationship certainty. And I know this because it's exactly the question I asked Zach to convince me of already to tee off at hole number 9 on that beautiful summer day in June 2015. And not only did he answer it, but he continues to demonstrate it every day. In closing, let me say thanks to each and every one of you for being here today, but more importantly, for being part of their journey. You're all part of the reason they have become the two amazing individuals they are, the amazing couple they are, and the reason they will always stay that way. Scott and Jenny, thanks for raising such a great kid. We're honored to have you in our family. Cheryl, thanks for picking up the slack at home when I was gone so much. And raising such an amazing young lady. There's a reason she called you her best friend. And to my mother-in-law, Pat, thanks for screwing up that one job. It turned out great. And now if everybody will please raise their glasses. And I'm going to ask Kristen to place her left hand on top of the table. Flat on top of the table. I'm going to ask Zach to place his left hand on top of Kristen's. Here's the two great individuals. One amazing couple with a bright future. And to officially, the last time Zach will ever have the upper hand in this relationship.